Good afternoon and assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the My Team career mode for round 10 here at France at Le Castellet. And as you can see, we are in the pre-race loading screen, but you can't see where we started. So, without further ado, why don't we take a quick look at how our qualifying lap went and where we will be starting this fantastic Grand Prix from. So, we are in Q2 and it is raining at Circuit Paul Ricard. Heading down into turn 1, brake at just about the right spot. I don't know where it is, to be honest, and get right up on both the curves. That's a bit of a track limits warning, but you kind of want to get up onto that curve regardless, even on strict corner cutting. Braking at about 80 meters, get right over the right-hand curve. Through the left-hander, we could have got much closer, but we stay away from it. Short shifting up on the exit. Through this double right-hander, it's so easy to lose the back end. As you'll just see there, as our back end really wants to step away from us. We are 4 tenths up on our personal best, but at the moment we're between Kvyat and Giovinazzi, so it's a very risky situation we find ourselves in. Heading down towards the bus stop chicane, braking at about 80 meters. Third gear, get right over the left-hand curve, and through the right-hander, you're just kind of kissing the curve, short shifting up on exit up to 4th. And then you can really just let the revs run loose, run wild. Now, this fast right-hander, while it's flat in the dry, in the wet, you can take it completely flat, but I don't have to set up for it. I'm using a dry setup because, as I had checked, the race wasn't meant to be dry. We're now 4.5 tenths up. We have a moment with the rear end now into this left-hander, what is probably most people's least favourite corner on the circuit. Get a nice late apex, short shift up to 4th on the exit. And now just 3 corners remaining if you include that right kink. Third gear for this long tightening left-hander. And then drop it down into 1st and get ready to short shift all the way through up to 4th gear on the exit. And that's a lap here at France in the wet. And it will be, as we come across the line, a 1:42.3. And that was enough for P12. We were only a few tenths away from P10. But we'll take the lap. And, yeah, let's see what we can do from 12th from the grid. Right, so, of course, we are going to go for the alternate strategy. Do we ever not do that? And we're going to get our fuel nice and low, 26.6, when we should be having, I think, 27 laps. Of course, everyone else has a fresh set of tyres as well to start the race on, so that usually doesn't bode well for us, but let's see what we can do. We're starting on the hards. Everyone else is on mediums. Here we go. At Le Castellet. 5 red lights. Put it in lean. Overtake on. It's lights out. And away we go. We get initially a bad getaway. But the second part isn't too bad. Ocon gets held up a little bit behind Sainz Ricciardo. We're going to squeeze ourselves all the way down the inside. Down the inside of Ocon. We can't quite take Ricciardo. And Gasly actually takes us around the outside. Giovinazzi gets past us as well. So we actually lose a position off the start. And we'll lose another one too as Danny Kvyat goes past us nice and late on the brakes, so we can just carry a lot of momentum. We go around Giovinazzi, and now we've got the inside for the left-hander, and let's just keep on at it. Round the outside of Esteban as well. Job done, although Esteban's going to try his luck on the inside. He's going to squeeze past us, and he's going to get the job done, but we put it back up into Rich. Overtake on as well. We've got Giovinazzi all over our rear end, but we're closing in onto Esteban. Surely down the inside, we can do it nice and late on the brakes. Get the apex beautifully. We squeeze Ocon maybe a little bit too aggressively, but we'll take the position now. We are up to P11, and everyone around us is on medium tyres. We are on these hard, and we know there is rain coming. If you didn't notice it, go back to that starting screen because there was rain at the end of the race. So I'm trying to find out when this rain is coming because it said it's in the final 7th or final 5th of the race. So if we can get our hards to last, that would be great. Otherwise, we go hard soft. Anyway, we run wide into the left-hander. That's bad news because now Ocon, he wants to get a little bit too racing with us, and it means we're over a second behind Pierre Gasly, and we need to be within a second of the AlphaTauri for when that DRS is enabled, so that we can stick with this battle that goes all the way up to, I think, something like P7, I want to say. But on lap 2, Esteban's got a really good run behind us. We are within a second of Gasly, so we really don't want to be fighting with Esteban because we're just about staying in touch of the AlphaTauri up ahead. But Esteban tries to block around the outside. We're able to get our braking just about right, and we're still just hovering on that gap as our back end decides to go all squirmy through the long right-hander, but we're now over a second behind Pierre Gasly. and we need to put in a quick lap if we want to catch up. But Esteban has DRS and we do not, so Esteban's going to sweep past us. We're not going to defend too much because we can use the Renault to drag us forward and just allow Ocon to give us DRS, which means that we can save a bit of fuel, maybe ERS as well, and hopefully Ocon can close in onto Pierre as well. And on lap 6, you can see that the gap between Ocon and Gasly is about a second. We're stuck with Ocon. We've just been using up our fuel and our ERS. Actually, we've been saving fuel. We started negative, but as we found time and time again, it's just so easy to save fuel in my team. Sainz at the moment, not quite sure what's happened to him. That's a shame, but we go up a position, and Ocon is on the back of Gasly. And the safety car is now out.
Reduce your pace.
And this is a terrible situation for us, because if you're a medium tyre runner, the lap you want to be pitting for those hards is lap 12. So, honestly, this is like the perfect opportunity for the mediums. If the safety car came out any point from like lap 10 to lap 12, it's perfect. Anything after that, they would have pitted for the hards. So, yeah. This is really tricky for us. But as you can hear from Jeff, there is rain coming in 10 to 15 minutes. So it's probably about 12 minutes, which is about 8 laps. So we should be able to get these hards to last until that rain comes, which we can expect at around about lap 18 with a safety car and, with a safety car, maybe it'll come out at lap 17, lap 16. So we're going to stay out, which is a bold decision, but the only alternative was to put on probably mediums or softs and drive until the rain comes down. So I think this is the right call to do, but everyone else is going to be on fresh tyres, on hards that can go to the end of the race. We're on 30% Warner tyres. We're in the lead. Everyone, we've got Bottas and Verstappen behind us on hards. This is going to be really tricky. But, well, you know we're good at defending. Let's see if we can pull this one off. So on lap 12, the safety car is coming into the pits. Now we're going to slow everyone right down, because whenever that rain comes, we would need it to come as soon as possible, because our tyres will probably only go another, maybe to lap 21 maximum. So yeah, I'm slowing everyone down as much as possible. And we try to blast it on the exit of the final corner. The safety car's well into the pits. We get ourselves a nice little half-second gap between Valtteri, but it's nothing special, to be honest. We just got to get our heads down and try to pull away from these guys and keep them behind. And on the very same lap, Valtteri's already having a go at us. He doesn't even need DRS. We try to break as late as we can. We clip the back of Valtteri. And that's not what we want to see. Thankfully, we don't have any damage to our front wing.
We've got a lot of spare.
We reuse our ERS. We're in race. We need to get the position back as quickly as possible. We are the guys who need to be in the lead. We need to kind of stop these guys from pushing while they have their fresh tyres, so that their tyres can get a little bit worn and then we can have a bit of an easier time. But this is in the first lap alone. Forget about how bad this is going to be when these guys have a DRS. But we've held on to the position. We've got another 14 and a bit laps left in the race. Valtteri has a look into the long left-hander. We leave him room, and he'll look for the outside into the final corner. We hold on to the position, and thankfully, Verstappen's going to find a way past. So we only have to deal with Red Bull engine power, not Mercedes engine power. That move did mean that Max was a little bit behind us, and on lap 16, he has finally closed right back onto our tails. And is he going to have a little look? No, it's just a little bit too far away, and we'll be able to hold on to the position. Now, lap 17, it's visibly so much darker out on the circuit, so that rain, it's only a couple of laps away, surely, unless it just stays like that for a lot longer. Lap 18, it has gotten so dark, and now it's Bottas who's behind us, and you can start to see the raindrops forming on the screen. There you go, right in the middle of the screen, a nice big fat raindrop. So maybe another 2 laps and we pit for our intermediate tyres. Hopefully the rain comes down as quickly as possible, and judging by how quickly the lighting of the circuit deteriorated, is coming down fast. Lap 19, Bottas goes for the move. Hamilton has a little look as well. We bang wheels on the brakes. We tap the rear end of Bottas's left front tyre, and that causes a big old skirmish, I guess you could call it. That's a shame. We didn't want that to happen, but we were just so close, and I should have left a little bit more room. Either way, we hold on to the position now. Lewis is having a go. We squeeze him as far as we can to the outside, side by side, all the way through the long right-hander. And Lewis will stay alongside us, but he just doesn't have the brakes. He doesn't have the balls of the salty peanut racing drivers. And we hold on to the lead of the race.
Up is about 10 minutes, so
now, on that very same lap, we decide, you know what, we're diving into the pits. It's looking wet enough. And right as we say that, Jeff announces on the MFD, it's time to switch strategies. So, as we leave the pits, we're going to come out in P10. Now, there's loads of people behind us because they all pitted. They pitted on the safety car for softs, and then they pitted again like a couple of laps ago for mediums or whatever tyres to go to the end. The gap between us and Pierre Gasly is 0.2 seconds. Watch that gap increase through this section of corners. It is absolutely changing by a crazy amount. So I think this was the perfect lap to pit for intermediates. The question is, we are slower than the Mercedes, so hopefully we can make this undercut work, and the gap is already a second as we make our way onto the back straight. On lap 20, we fly past everyone in the pits, fly past Lewis Hamilton as well. Bottas is the only man who hasn't stopped because Mercedes didn't want to double stack their drivers, and we've got a 1.5 second gap to Lewis, and that is gone straight away because Lewis is now a few tenths behind us. Bottas in the pits, he's going to drop really far down the order because you know, he was just out on those in wet conditions for so long. Lap 22 though, we make another mistake. We run really wide and Lewis takes it as an invitation to dive down our inside, and he's pretty much got the job done, but we have brakes and we dive it back down his inside into the left-hander. We run wide. Lewis could look for the cutback. He's super close to us as we make our way through the right kink, and he'll have a little look down the inside. We try to leave him room and he block passes us, and we somehow hold it around the outside. We hold on to the position, we park it, and somehow, once again, Lewis doesn't get the drive on the exit. But that's just one lap. This is going to be an absolute nightmare. And on lap 23, Lewis is already looking to have another go. We'll go defensive. Lewis looks for the outside to make our way down towards the bus stop. We break nice and early, side by side with the Mercedes. And can we find the better traction through the right-hander? Indeed we can. We hold on to the lead of the race for now with 3.5 laps remaining, or 4.5 laps I should say. Now we've got 2.5 laps remaining. Lewis once again, he looks for the outside. This time we're super late on the brakes. We hold on to position. We cut Lewis up a little bit as we lock up, but we'll take it. We've got a big old train forming. Bottas has even closed back in, but it's so difficult to overtake in the wet conditions, as Lewis is finding out. Maybe lap 26 will be the lap for Lewis Hamilton. He'll go to the outside. We're on the inside. We've got so much ERS. Nice and late on the brakes. This time we don't squeeze him out, and once again we're on the outside of the right-hander. We get the traction. We get the job done. Still leading the race. Lando Norris is in P5. Good stuff from him. And we make our way onto the final lap of the race. And guys, this is where we just break down the race and we have a little overview of how everything has gone. So first off, I just want to apologize that I didn't do an intro video for this, purely because I just didn't really have the time, and I'm trying to get a couple of my team videos out as quickly as possible, so that it's matching with the ERS season, because I think that's the best way to go about things. So you guys will get 2 videos every week, and that way I can try to keep the content fresh and good. So we'll rush out the Austria one as well, and that could hopefully come out on Monday, and then once that's done we will start to keep everything nice and good wholesome content. The ERS content I'll keep, you know, POG intros, all of that stuff. We've got some spicy announcements coming, as my back end's got a little spicy announcement for me. But either way, it's been a fantastic race. We qualified down in 12th in the wet. We're terrible in the wet, so that was a really good qualifying result for us. And we made the strategy work, despite that safety car coming out at literally the worst time possible for us. If it had come out, I think, a lap or 2 earlier, I don't think the AI would have pitted. And if it had come out a few laps afterwards, the AI would have pitted for it beforehand. So I think if the safety car didn't come out, we would have won the race anyway, just because of how far ahead we would have been, and these hards would have lasted until the wet conditions. But there you go, we're going to come across the line to win our 2nd ever race in my team.
That's a race win. You've really been great today.
Lando Norris gets driver of the day because he started from the back of the grid, but that is tricky. And our second race win, our first since Bahrain, and I think, you know what, we need to spice up our helmet because that's looking just a little bit too boring right now. But yeah, we get the win. We got that P3 at the last race in Canada. Or sorry, was it P2? It was P2, wasn't it? So we go one better, and guys, the car's starting to feel that little bit better. It's starting to feel that little bit more responsive, that we can battle Sergio Perez with a P3. We're doing absolutely everything we can. We're on that top step of the podium. We get a little bit of the bubbly air. So, yeah, absolutely fantastic. Again, sorry guys that we're not doing any of, you know, the intro or the interview with Claire and any of that stuff. I'm going to end this one short because I just want to get this done. But yeah, yeah, it wasn't the fastest lap that we've ever done, but, you know, we were on those hard tires at the start. Everyone else was on medium, so we'll definitely take that. But let's take a little old look at how the Drivers' Championship is looking, because we find ourselves on 102 points and just 47 points behind Seb, who is still leading the championship, and he's dropping down the order. So technically, we're only 37 points behind the man who will be leading the championship. And we've got almost half a season to go. We can win this championship. We can 100% win this championship. We just need to nail the next 4 or so races, and we are going to be right up there. We may even need to turn up the difficulty for the final few races up to 107, but damage and limitation in the first half of the season, or the first third of the season. Now we're in the second third. This is the comeback. These are our good tracks. This is where we need to nail things so that once we get to that final third of the season, and the tracks that I'm not so good at, the car will be in a good enough situation that we can have some fantastic battles for the championship. But on that note, guys, thank you very, very much for tuning in. I hope you have enjoyed this episode. And until next time, oh, of course, leave a like and subscribe. And don't forget, you can follow me on Twitter at MilkyCerial73 and on Twitch, MilkyCerial1. We've also got some snazzy merch. You can find the links to that down in the description below. But until next time, guys, stay milky and assalamu alaikum.